Welcome everyone to the PYRESWAP show. And I see that we're a little bit tilted, we're a little bit canted, but it's okay. It's okay. Thank you everybody for coming to the PYRESWAP show. And Kiadezo, I'm sure I'm glad to see you because I would like to talk to you today about things like social media posting. Does that make sense? And most importantly, I want to talk to everybody today because I want you guys to know about something that happened that's almost ironic. I want you guys to know that something happened over the weekend that has a great deal of humor. And I want you guys to know this is a very, very good joke if you guys have a good sense of humor. Would you guys agree that the website, How to Tell When to Sell, it's extremely simple instructions? Would you guys say that anybody who's a visitor to that site is extremely simple? Dr. Mack, would you say it's almost like there's only one call to action and one instruction on that site? Would you guys agree? It is the most simplistic instructions you've ever, Okay, guess what I failed to do in Friday's announcement? Guess what 5 failed to do on Friday's announcement? Because when the Friday's announcement was the announcement I made that was debuting, hey guys, it's finally up, right? Guess what I failed to do? I failed to make the instructions clear. And I want you to know it showed me that there's always a new way to improve. So first of all, I have 2 books coming. I ordered them already that are literally books on how to write instructions clearly. So the fact of the matter is, I want to first say that I'm very, very pleased with the enthusiasm with how much this link is getting posted on Twitter. I want you guys to know I worked my ass off to make it even easier than it's been, because I'm seeing a lot of you guys on Twitter and you're still doing things that you don't need to do anymore. You don't need to shill anymore. Like you don't need to sound like Professor 5. You don't need to throw out long syllable words. By the way, Kiadezo, I appreciate you posting it, but believe it or not, and I appreciate, I think Whisper posting. I appreciate everybody posting it, but I want you guys to know it's extremely easy how this should be posted. Extremely easy, and I'm going to make another announcement today, but I want to make it clear. Oh, by the way, I'm going to demo how to do it live on the show too. I'm going to demo this on the show live. By the way, I just drank pre-workout, so like, you should just bear with me. My vision just blacked out for a second. I'm kidding. But I'm going to make the instructions even clearer because just like how I got ahead of the world in economics, I also got ahead of the world in marketing. So the instructions for marketing also need to be brutalistically simple. So basically, and I'm going to write this in an announcement too. Find an influencer, right? Posting about a specific token. Does that make sense? And NFTs count too. NFTs can count. So a specific token. Okay? Reply to OP. Okay? One caption. You guys, there's going to be one caption. So I wanted to remove the burden of creative writing from you guys. Does that make sense? For those of you who remember, we attempted a Reddit awareness generating activity. Do you guys remember our teamwork on Reddit? Do you guys remember that? And how it was we had to halt doing it. Why did we have to halt doing it? Because the level of creative writing it required from people, it was short-sighted of me to it was bad for me to expect that everybody had the type of copywriting and sales and persuasion and creative writing ability that I myself did. So the fact of the matter is, I don't want you guys to mimic 5 or even mimic other people on crypto Twitter. So don't mimic how I sound. Don't mimic how crypto Twitter sounds. I want you guys to understand something. Do you remember in 2022, we acquired 5 Discords? Do you guys remember this? Who's in my audience today? There's a few of you guys, okay? Right? We acquired 5 Discords. And do you know why we did? Because we wanted to make sure that we never needed to do marketing again. But guess what? The marketing made us shifts. And what I mean by that is what worked for marketing in 2022 is not necessarily what will work in 2024. Now, I want you guys to understand something. There's no point in us marketing on Twitter but joining the chorus of people just spamming out features and benefits. Does that make sense? There's no point in us marketing on Twitter but then effectively sounding like everybody else. So the goal is don't sound like Five and then don't sound like everybody else. Does that make sense? That is the goal. So the point being here is reply to OP, single caption, one caption. So when do we sell? That's it.
That's it.
This is the
only caption needed. This is the only caption needed.
It's a question.
It is a question and it's not a statement. Because when I tell you something like declaratively, you don't feel a response and you don't in your mind think of the missing information. Does that make sense? You're considering information I'm giving you. When I query you for a response, you're considering the information you have.
Does that make
sense?
By the way, when I say does that make sense, that's also why I say it. Because you guys can think about whether or not that's a yes or no, even if it's intuitive.
Does that make sense? Even if it's in your own head, I'm prompting you to actually think about for a second about the information you have.
Right?
But if I say consider the following. If I were to tell you that, hey guys, today it's raining. Today it's raining where I live.
But if I were to say, Dr. Mack,
what's the weather like where you live?
Raining. Does that make sense? Though? The point being, if I say it's raining where I live, that doesn't necessarily.
I mean, it's probably like for the southeast. You know, it's a lot of the same climate. But for me to tell you something about me, it doesn't prompt you to respond. Do you get what I'm saying?
So when you ask a question, it prompts.
Internal psychology, it prompts for something. So why do we find an influencer talking about a specific token and reply to OP? One, because we can even get the OP to click.
Does that make sense?
All we're trying to do on Twitter is sell the click. Sell the click.
We're not trying to sell the token. We're not trying to sell the project.
Kiedezo, we're not even trying to sell fundamental analysis. We're just going to sell the click of the website.
Sell the click.
Because once they click, the website has other things for them to read and or click. Does that make sense? We are trying to get them to take the first micro step on a journey. And that journey ends up with them joining the Discord. Right?
After they join the
Discord, we'll have to have more stuff in place so they'll know more about where to go.
Does that make sense?
Every single step, by the way, I've learned I have to brutalistically make it ABC type of instructions. Every single thing that we've done so far is like 7-step instructions at the least.
Right?
So it's just my job right now is simplification. Marketing and advertising. I think now I've read enough books. I actually have one more book.
This is called
Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson.
This is the last advertising book I'm going to read, but this is a pretty critical thing he talks about here. You identify your dream customers. You find out where they're already congregating online. Find out where your dream customers are already online. They're probably on Twitter. Would you guys agree that crypto is on crypto Twitter? Learning how to work your way in, which means like how do you get their attention? So first of all, I'm going to tell you how to not get their attention. We're not going to get their attention through sounding like Five. We're not going to get their attention through spamming bullet point features and benefits, because every meme coin is already doing that to the point that it's a nonsensical chorus. Everybody's already looking for, instead of us trying to blend in with Twitter in 2024, I'm trying to differentiate on Twitter. Does that make sense? We need to look different on Twitter if we want people to look at what we're posting. We need to look different. So when do we sell? Because why do we say this? Why do we say this? We want people who read what we're posting to think that we're a follower of this influencer. Because everybody else who's reading an influencer's post, they're considering being a following of that influencer. Does that make sense?
Does that make sense?
So they look at you and you become social proof. So if the OP sees one of their followers asking when do we sell, people can connect the dots. This is somebody who bought based on the influencer's recommendation. And by saying so when do we sell, what are we doing? We are addressing the elephant in the room. Do you guys know what I mean when I say elephant in the room? I know that not everybody speaks English as their first language. But do you guys know what I mean when I say elephant in the room? By the way, today's a turtleneck day. Do you guys like the black turtleneck? I feel like on camera it just drinks in all light. But when I say elephant in the room, you're asking an uncomfortable question, and guess what you're doing? You're kind of killing the vibe of that thread. Do you get what I'm saying? So when do we sell? You're not. Yeah. Thank you, by the way. This will be the exact turtleneck I wear when I recreate the Dwayne The Rock Johnson post with that chain. All I need is blue jeans. Obviously, I already have a black fanny pack and the gigantic chain. I'm kidding. But yes, amazing stuff. And anyways. You are killing the vibe. You're not matching crypto Twitter energy. Does that make sense? Crypto Twitter's energy is already ridiculous to the point that most people who are coming through it are already trying to filter out that energy. So we are in fact choosing a different energy. So when do we sell? And then nothing. Sorry. You do post something. So when do we sell? With the URL. And you're not explaining this post. Does that make sense? If people reply to you, does not matter. Because what you're doing here, to quote Robert Collier, is you're entering the conversation that's already in the customer's mind, which is, okay, but when do we sell? So when they see your post, they're going to say, okay, this guy's asking a question that I care about, and they're going to patiently wait to see if you get a reply. Does that make sense? So if you have the balls to ask, so when do we sell, right up front, it's kind of putting the onus of proof on the influencer. Does that make sense? And what does this do when you post the URL there? You're creating curiosity because the URL does not present itself like an advertisement. Does that make sense? The card, the thumbnail does not present like an advertisement. It presents like a blog post. And the fact matter is, when everybody halts and looks at this for a second and thinks about it, what are they going to read on that card? They're going to read that it's a 7-minute read and a 13-minute video. And do you guys know that in the 13-minute video, it does not advertise for the first 11 minutes? So for a 13-minute video, we don't shill anything for 11 minutes. Does that make sense? PYRE, PYRE Phantom, and PYRE AVAX, they all get mentioned around the 11-minute, 20-second mark. Does that make sense? So in a 13-minute video, only 2 minutes of it are an advertisement at the very end. Do you guys understand? So we are leading with adding value to the user. We are adding value to begin with. Right? You can add value to people without giving them an airdrop. Does that make sense? You can give them information that's valuable. Make sense? Things that people want to learn. Everybody who watches that video, they all enjoy the story about Martin's weave. They all enjoy the story in the beginning even. Does that make sense? So we built that to add a lot of value to people up front. So when we sell the URL, post and move on with your life. And I'm going to demo it 3 times live on the show today. Does that make sense? I even have people I want to target specifically on Twitter. So again, I realized I made the egregious error in the announcement on Friday. I will re-announce it today. I need marketing theory insists on simple instructions at every step. So my next order of business, and I realized that it's kind of like, this is something that I almost didn't want to do a year ago, but it's really what required of me. Simple as fuck instructions. And I need to make them friendly too. So do you guys remember the beta testing guide? The instructions were simple, but I was also being so callous, right? My personality was at its most memorable, right? But let's be honest, not most popular, right? So effectively, simple instructions like the original beta testing guide, but then also remove my personality from it, okay? We also don't need to put our personality in the caption. So when do we sell is the only question we need to ask. I'm gonna rewrite this on the announcement channels, but again, I put way too many examples of questions, and I realized that this is not simple enough for a user base that is international. So I failed to realize that even my announcement instructions, my announcements are also marketing, right? Like everything is marketing.
So even my announcements have to have the most simple instructions possible. So that was an error on my part.
By the way, we did see I think 11 or 12 or 13 people join the Discord. So for the fact of the matter is, in the first 48 hours on a weekend where most people were very quiet, this was a very quiet weekend, I would say we did a pretty good job. With me rewriting these instructions a day, I expect that we'll be able to do 10 times as better. 10 times as good. Does that make sense? Because once these instructions are clear, honestly, clear instructions I feel are an exponential difference maker. Does that make sense to you guys? So anyways, I'm gonna do a demo on the actual screen here. I'm gonna do it on my phone. And what I'm gonna do, and can you guys hear me still on Discord? Audio check. It's working. Okay. So I'm gonna minimize Discord here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up Twitter. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go find. I'm gonna go find. The first guy I want to do is Murad. You guys know Must Stop Murad? Because Must Stop Murad is just going to talk about meme coins, right? So Murad reposted something about Phoenix, but legitimately. Okay. So Murad has exposed Doge went to 94 billion during a non-meme coin cycle. We're at the end of the parabolic phase of the meme coin super cycle. Year 4. Adjust your targets. Top meme coins are still 50 to 100 for the undervalued. That's 1 hour ago. He already has 642 replies. So in the 642 replies. So when do we sell? And then literally I'm gonna write. I know I should be doing it, but I'm not logged into Twitter on screen cap. Sorry, Mr. Producer is correct. I should be doing this on screen cap. What I will do is I will screenshot it on my phone and then post it directly into Discord. So I'm sorry we have to do it this way. So here's me replying to Murad right now. This is it right now. Hang on. So this is the first one. As simple as possible. If you guys want to go find this post and put a heart on it, I wouldn't mind hearts. But even then, that's not required. That's a real reply right there. So when do we sell? Replying to Murad. Okay. The next guy I'm gonna find, I want to do Mark Andreessen. So I think his name is P Mark A. And I'm gonna find Mark Andreessen's last post about an actual token. Here he's talking about some sort of like thing. He's talking about politics. He's shit posting. He's talking about United Healthcare. Come on, Mark Andreessen. Come on. Okay, here's posting I think CEBK, which is another no idea what that is. Let me see if I can find the next clear. That's a more clear shill from Mark Andreessen for maybe that AI token of his. Damn, I cannot find a good post from Mark Andreessen, but he does post like 17 times a day. Okay, I'm just gonna skip to Arthur Hayes. I'll be honest. I'm gonna skip to Arthur Hayes here. We'll do Crypto Hayes. Okay. He posted 3 days ago. ENA equals $10. Yahtzee. Run it back turbo. So he is just brutalistically shilling. Oh, look at this. Even Duo9 is asking, what's your exit target? But legitimately, I'm gonna ask that too. So when do we sell? And then legitimately, I'm gonna post the same link, but I'm gonna do how to tell when to sell.info. Reply sent. Here, this one's gonna be a few screenshots because I don't know. So let me do these two real quick. Okay. Second screenshot, this is me replying to Arthur Hayes. Does that make sense? YouTube stream had an audio problem. Okay. Okay, I appreciate you bringing that up. And then legitimately, let's see. Does anybody have a request for an influencer? Let me find, let me see what I got here. What, Altcoin Daily? Let's see what Altcoin Daily is posting. Okay, Altcoin Daily said Bitcoin over 100K is new normal. So when do we sell? And that's it. Yeah. Legitimately, we're not trying to sound like we're shilling. Do you understand? There you go. That's 3 examples. I did all 3 links. Don't fucking nuke it. Do you guys know? Well, I guess you guys wouldn't even know what nuke means. But okay. Okay, there's 3 examples. Okay? I did 1, 2, and 3, all 3 URLs. You don't want to sound like me, and you don't want to sound like everybody else. Does that make sense? Because that is what makes you not differentiated. Does that make sense? Do not try to sound like me. Do not copycat crypto Twitter. Does that make sense? I need you guys to understand that what works in marketing is actually seasonal. It's actually seasonal. Like, it literally changes over time. Can I ask you guys a question? Can I ask whoever is listening to the stream right now a question? Have you guys ever heard of a style of shoe called Crocs? Can I get a screen share, Mr. Producer? Thank you so much for that, Dr. Mac. Dr. Mac has truly learned the magic of the gift search. Okay, do you guys see what's on the screen share here? These Crocs? Arguably, that looks like a lot of fun. That would make great content. You know, that is what you could call a visual hook. You know what I mean? You fill it with whipped cream, you step into it, then you're like, hey, how to tell when to sell. I'm kidding. Okay, are you guys aware of these shoes? I want you to understand something. This shoe was considered the worst shoe ever. And then what happened is millennials grew old, Gen Z became adults. And then as Gen Z became adults, there was a guy named Post Malone who started wearing these, and then all of Gen Z copied him. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So the point being here is that if we want something to work with marketing, we are not trying to copy what's already 2 years old. We're trying to, in fact, front run by using theoretics to get in front of it. So the fact of the matter is, our user base is on Twitter. But the fact of the matter is we should not expect to capture their attention. Yeah, we should not expect to capture their attention by promoting PYRESWAP as if it's a meme coin. Do you guys understand that? Do you guys know that at a grocery store, you can buy candy and you can buy steak? I know that some of you guys are vegan, right? So let's say broccoli. You can buy candy and you can buy broccoli. But imagine this. Imagine if you went to a grocery store and there was broccoli that had a candy wrapper around it. That would be fucking weird. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I know that, by the way, broccoli in this allegory is PYRESWAP. So that is funny because we talk about broccoli farming. But imagine if you could describe this project as health food and meme coins as junk food, right? Health food and junk food. They sell both health food and junk food at the same grocery store, but you would not market it the same. Do you guys understand? You do not put meme coin wrappers around this because it's not a meme coin. That violates in marketing something called congruency. Right? So the fact of the matter is that all we're trying to do is get people's attention and kind of make them itch to the point that, yeah, Javery, I appreciate you knowing that reference, but I do have broccoli right now in the refrigerator. We want to ask a question that's already inside our users' minds. Does that make sense? And then we leave a link. And then as the question doesn't get answered, right? I want you guys to understand, right? Like, do you go, okay, who here remembers when, let's say something crazy, and I remember Rolf saying he was a vegan, right? Okay, so like, again, health food and candy, they're in the same store, but they have the same wrapper, right? Sorry, they're in the same store, but they have different wrappers. So like, we're not gonna put a candy wrapper on PYRESWAP. Legitimately, drop the link this exact way, and let people step towards you by giving them something they value first. So when we tell the story about the fucking crash, right? First of all, that's an emotive reaction. It's kind of a funny story when you talk about maxing out your credit cards. I never did that, by the way, but you always say it. You always put something in there because people who read it, they feel more bad about the person who actually did, right? And then you tell the story about Martin's Week. Everybody likes learning the story about Martin's Week. Everybody likes learning about Martin's Week, right? So they hear a video that they actually care about learning because it helps them feel like they're a better investor, and it probably does. For the first 11 minutes, we don't shill shit, right? We give them a 13-minute video. The first 11 minutes are not an advertisement. They are literally only for their benefit. Does that make sense? So we front load our interaction with them with a whole bunch of things to benefit them. At the very end, maybe they'll join the Discord. Do you get what I'm saying? So we're going to go high effort with our marketing because we use a click-through page. Other projects are not using a click-through page, probably because they haven't read books about marketing. So I want you guys to understand, it was my problem about making the instructions on Friday too unclear. Simple caption, simple ask. Don't try to copy 5. Don't try to copy the way meme coins talk, because legitimately, and even Alessio was right. Having more thread posts about PYRESWAP would make more sense. What I realize now is my job is that I have to now go into the project, and every single step of the way, I have to write ABC instructions. Literally A, B, C. A, B, C. Does that make sense? If you can write maybe D level, like, 4-step instructions. Anything over like 5 steps is like yellow card territory, right? It's like yellow flag. It's like, okay, can you drop it down to 4 instructions? So by the way, everybody who posted the link on the on Twitter, I applaud you, and I applaud your zealousness. Exactly, Kidezo. Yeah, like simplistically, say good morning, right? And believe it or not, people just say GM now, right? But yes, single caption. By the way, I'm going to write that announcement again today because I want you guys to know, if everybody does this, don't over-inform them. What have I been doing wrong for the last year? I have been fire-hosing people information. Do you guys understand? And guess what? While some people are willing to deal with that because they're already invested in the repegging of tomb forks, people who aren't, it doesn't make it clear for them on what the next step is, right? So legitimately, we have to kind of build a front sidewalk into the project where people learn things at the right curriculum. So by the way, this is what we'll be doing over the next week or two in the background. And then, by the way, we actually have this website too already. This is a URL we got. Yeah. So by the way, learnpyreswap.com has now been purchased. This will be a website specifically for hosting I think 5 or 6 videos, or maybe videos and then brutalistically simple instructions, like bullet points, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tops. Make sense? That's even stuff like connecting your MetaMask. So I know that we've tried to focus on being not beginner friendly, but I probably need to rewrite that pop-up too to make it slightly less of a fucking problem, right? Slightly less of a deterrent. So that pop-up, we'll have to, I'll probably rewrite it as well. But anyways, I want you guys to see that the Discord numbers did go up, and actually they went up pretty significantly for a pretty quiet weekend and a red weekend. Most things took a little tumble. So for a quiet weekend and a red weekend, we got 11 net people. By the way, some people joined the Discord and they left. Did you guys see that? And the thing is, it's okay. It's okay that happened. Because when you bring people towards you on a trail of breadcrumbs, they're in what you call a hokey pokey state. Do you guys know the American and English children's song called the Hokey Pokey? Does anyone know this? Okay, so Rolf, it goes like this. It's like when you're like a 5-year-old in America, they make you do this in like a classroom. It's like a daycare level event. And it starts off with putting your left foot in, then your left foot out, then your left foot in, then you shake it all about. Legitimately, what this means is they are in a quantum state. Yes, exactly. I'm sure in your language it might have a different name. But the idea is they're kind of tangentially in. They've only taken one step towards you, but they could also be taking one step back from you if they don't get immediately engaged. So while we are right now experimenting, what are we trying out? We're trying out just our ability to get more people to come to this Discord. If we could get 10 people a day, which by the way, it already seems like we're able to do that, we're gonna do just fine. Because this website, it's not this website, but How to Tell When to Sell, we're gonna be onboarding more Twitter ambassadors and then fucking giving them these exact instructions on how to use it for them as well. So I am fully convinced that we're gonna be able to fill this Discord up with people. But that's not the end of the solution. That's not the total solution. When they get to this Discord, they also need a trail of breadcrumbs on what to learn next and what to experience next. And we have to add value to them in the front load with every step. And that's how you win at marketing. Electronic, yes, but later in the lower on Learn PYRESWAP. Because that right there, okay, great question. Believe it or not, electronic, as soon as they take one step towards you, the first thing you need to do is, what is our big claim in the How to Tell When to Sell video? What's our big claim? Pyre Phantom has FA, right? And because Pyre Phantom has FA, it tells you how to tell when to sell, right? Would you guys say this is our biggest and boldest and bravest claim? Everybody understand this? Would everybody agree that this is like yes, okay. Guess what we don't do in this Discord when people join? What do we not do? When people join the Discord, they are not, I shouldn't even write this out. They are not immediately presented with any type of proof or information about that. Do you guys understand? So if this is like the most burning thing to prove, our Discord server does not yet immediately prove that. We have a diagrams channel, right? Does that make sense? We have a theurgy channel, but it's still not the exact same thing. If you look at our theurgy channel, there's not a whole lot of good demonstration of Q&A even going on in there. So I want you guys to understand our Discord is still not optimized to be the next component, but it will be. That's what's coming up next. So electronic, this next video ideally would be explaining how how these tokens have fundamental analysis. And the way you do that is you go into the mechanisms. You give a brief overture of the mechanisms. Then you have separate videos for the mechanisms. Does that make sense? You have to give them trail of breadcrumbs, electronic, so like small bites. And again, 13 minutes electronic. What you don't understand is that the reason people are willing to watch 13 minutes is because it's going to take longer than the influencer on Twitter to reply to our question than 13 minutes. Do you guys understand? Yeah, like electronic, you have an imagination of what you think the problem is. If you don't have data behind that, it's nothing. That's what you consider an opinion worth discarding. Electronic, that needs a citation and a source. You do not know what you're talking about. Yeah. And again, electronic, what you're forgetting is that lots of Murad's followers are looking for the answer to that question. So legitimately, if they're going to think that Murad is going to take longer than 13 minutes to get it, they're going to click. Does that make sense? Yeah, they will. They will. Because it doesn't look like a fucking ad either. And the fact of the matter is, the level of value it promises, by the way, there's an equation for this. Yeah, electronic, you believe this is the case, but it's already worked. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work the way you think it works. It works the way the data says it works. Right? So the point being here is that the value equation is divided by value promised and I think it's like plus plus I guess you could say like likelihood divided by time and effort. So the point being is, yeah. Legitimately, Rolf, the hype is still the count, like the byproduct of it. Yeah, like this is too early to add hype. Yeah, like do not do it. Yeah, like the hype will happen when enough people are joining the server and sticking into it. Because then people will be, oh shit, I'm getting 25 GMs a fucking day. Yeah. Oh, yeah, hang on. Okay, yeah, sorry, that was a thing. Yeah. Legitimately, like, yeah, the hype is a byproduct. Yeah, like the hype is a byproduct. You're waiting for like the second batch of people. We're still waiting on the first batch of people. Does that make sense? Yeah, like there's no point in inviting people here with hype. It makes more sense to invite them here with a solution to a problem they have. Because if you have enough people coming here, no, that's how the amateur thinks. Does that make sense? Yeah, like you effectively, the first batch is like this. Yeah, like you guys here and you guys didn't come here from hype. I appreciate that. Yeah, but believe it or not, the first batch does not come from hype. Like, and also we're not a newly launched project. So it's like, there's no point in like trying to make that happen. They have a pain point. Get them in here from their pain. Motivating them from pain is something that no other project can do. So like again, looking at what other projects are doing is not what we're trying to do. We're trying to do something way better than them. Like we're trying to be better than them because we are a crypto project that can solve a pain point. Other projects can't do this. So it makes more sense for us to like point out our strongest area as opposed to trying to copy what everybody else is doing on crypto Twitter and then not differentiating. We need to differentiate on Twitter, not just become another voice in the chorus that ends up getting ignored, right? Because every project is trying to come here from hype. Okay? So again, time and effort. The problem is the value promised is so fucking high, the time and effort becomes justified. Yeah. And again, once you actually have enough people here who are not from hype, all it will take will be some person who will be like, okay, wait a minute. There is now 3 times as many people in general chat as there used to be. And then the price chart will just take care of the rest. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, like you need to have that minimum quorum of people watching the price chart in order to have what Peg is describing maintain itself. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like we need to have enough calm, dry powder in the keg so that when we light the fuse, it sustains a critical reaction. If we're just going to end up hype right now, any one of you guys can go get $1,000 on credit and throw it at the fucking chart. And we'll have like a day or two of hype and then it'll be like, oh wait, we don't have enough people who are here without hype. Does that make sense? Every single meme coin is using volume bots to hype the share of their project. Rolf, yeah, again, I don't know why you're saying work. Yeah, because that would not work for us. Yeah, like legitimately, us emulating that will not get us to Peg. Yeah, we will have a pump and dump. We've already had pump and dumps. Yeah. Yeah, here's the thing. Legitimately, we are trying to get a larger group of people like you quicker. Yeah. But again, Rolf, if we don't have enough people that are kind of entering in consistently with this fundamental analysis value prop, they only work before they get saturated. Because now most meme coins aren't working, right? Because they're launching like 7,000 of them a day, right? So the point being is we don't want to paint ourselves with meme coin markings because we're not differentiating ourselves. Just like Discord stopped being useful, crypto Twitter will also stop being useful. Does that make sense? Crypto Twitter will also the meta of that will also fall. I'm not trying to copy what 2023 was already doing. I'm trying to get ahead of 2025. So legitimately, on marketing theoretics, address their pain point. Do exactly what I'm going to do in the announce. Yeah, like legitimately, the people who end up getting rugged, those are the people we're collecting after the fact, after they're in pain. Does that make sense? So we just speak to their pain, right? Because every time someone gets rugged, they're going to reduce their risk tolerance because they're looking for the likelihood. They're trying to look for a risk reversal. How to tell when to sell is a risk reversal point. By the way, yeah, we had over 100 people fucking click on it the first day. I'm assuming it's not all from the fucking Discord. No, yeah, there's no point in doing that shit. There's no point. Yeah, legitimately, like, allow the candles to take care of itself. We're just going to saturate the fucking user base until the chart has to explode. I'm not faking it, right? We don't need to fake it. Legitimately, yeah, saying 13 minutes is too long. It wasn't too long for you. Yeah, you guys are here for an hour, you know, an hour 4 times a week. Legitimately, the value promise is how to tell when to sell crypto profits without crypto panics. No meme coin is able to say that shit. So 13 minutes is worth the time, especially for anybody who's lost over $1,000. Anybody who's lost over $1,000 in meme coins, they can find 13 minutes to watch a video. Because they probably watch videos longer than that for a fucking meme coin. Shit, people sit in those Twitter spaces for hours too. They sit in those Twitter spaces for hours. Yeah. Yeah, electronic, yes, again. The first thing we need to prove when they get here is the claim from video 1. So the big bold claim of video 1 is the next action. So every single thing, by the way, on the granular, the post you make on Twitter is not about selling PYRESWAP, nor is it about selling PyrePhantom. It's about selling the click. Sell the click. Sell the watch, read, scroll. I want you to think about every single thing we need them to do. Sell the click of the how to tell when to sell.com, right? The first thing, just do that. So when do we sell? And when you ask that question, you're entering the conversation in their head. You also don't sound like a shill. You do not sound like a shill. And because you don't sound like a shill, people trust you more. If you fucking put that bravado in your Twitter, in your posting, you just sound like 2023 did. You're not going to differentiate. So when do we sell? You sound like somebody who's holding that token. Make sense? Sell the watch, read, scroll. And then let the fucking, yeah. Let the site sell the Discord. Then what does the Discord need to sell? Does that make sense? The Discord needs to sell the next action. And we already know what we need to sell because that's the shit we fucking did on the site. We said, hey, PyrePhantom has fundamental analysis. It literally tells you when to sell. That is such an outlandish fucking claim. The next thing we need to do on this Discord is make it how to tell when to sell. We literally explain why it has FA. Then we go into mechanisms. But again, you're always going to be front loading the value and talking and like addressing how it benefits them. Yeah, I'm reading actual marketing books. I'm not trying to like copy what meme coins are doing that literally a meme coin is going to put low effort in their marketing because if it doesn't work out, they'll just launch another one. Like the average dev launching meme coins right now, they're launching like 15 a month. Like, so like, we're not going to take that approach. Like, okay, guys, I guess the brand was wrong. I guess the name was wrong. They have no idea what works, so they're just throwing spaghetti at a wall. If we're going to pick a coin and stick with it, and pick chains and stick with it, try not to sound like them. Differentiate from them, because their shit doesn't get clicked. Yeah, I know you think it does, but like, they're faking that too. Yeah, but Rolf, hype comes later. Yeah, hype comes later. Yeah, you have to actually build the... Hype is the byproduct of it. Most people come in at the hype stage, but we're not even trying to get the most people batch yet. Like the most people batch will come when you have this multi-vector exponent, right? Like again, right now it's to have a consistent amount of people joining the Discord every week. Make sense? Like we did not have a way to even capture traffic from Twitter. You guys were out shilling the project on Twitter every week. Not working. It was not working. Yeah, it was not working. Does that make sense? We have an ambassador. We have people posting shit all the time. But if you're copying the way Five sounds or you're copying the way the rest of crypto Twitter sounds, it's not going to work to sell this product. The same way that putting a candy wrapper around broccoli does not sell broccoli. This is like, again, I'm on book number 9 for advertising, and I'm going to read 2 more books on how to write instructions. Stop trying to copy what you think works. I think all that shit is trash. Until one of these projects, literally from the beginning, knows how to create a $1 billion market cap project, there's nothing to learn from them. Does that make sense? There's nothing to learn. It's what you see at the lowest level of effort, but you're watching it as a consumer. You're not watching it as a producer. And I'm not trying to insult anybody. I just want you to know that there is a higher level and a deeper level of marketing that can be done. So which is why we have a gigantic Twitter thumbnail. It's so fucking gigantic. Then we don't sound like an ad. We sound like a blog post. We say 7-minute read, 13-minute video. That's exactly the length we need. We don't need, oh, if there's only a shorter video. No, you don't know. You are literally imagining shit in your head. By the way, you're being pessimistic. And again, pessimism always disempowers you. Yeah. If you're going to be pessimistic, you'll always talk yourself out of doing something, which, by the way, does nothing to improve your standing. If I was like that, we would have given up on this project 18 months ago. Yeah, stop looking at what's wrong. Focus on what's right. Yeah. Oh, no, is 13 minutes too long? Only before they lose money. And if they've lost money, they'll find a way to spend 13 minutes. Because, by the way, 11 minutes of that video is not a fucking ad. You keep thinking it's an ad. No, it's a gift. It's a gift to them. No, Electronic, I do not care for that. Yeah, stop. You do not know what you're talking about. You're coming up with ideas, you do not know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, no. Literally one set of instructions. One set of instructions. The same way that the ad works. Yeah. Like every time that I've relied on people's creativity, it's way too much. Yeah. You're like, hey, I see what this is. We should jump in there. Do you know why we scraped the YouTube list? Like scrape YouTubers? Because we need to put YouTubers in our system, not be in somebody else's system. You don't win when you're in somebody else's system. You win when they're in your system. So why am I going to go on a 20 YouTuber marathon? Because we have a list. So they're in our system. If we go around panhandling, we will not win because panhandlers don't win. Does that make sense? Yeah, Rolf, yeah. We have 900 emails and they all have Twitter too. So the YouTubers we interview, they'll also be posting on Twitter about it. That list was finished a month ago. Yeah, or I don't know, a few weeks ago. In November for sure. I want to say early November. But yeah, like that list has been around. We scraped that list ahead of time. So when it's time to go on a marathon, I don't have to spend a month just scheduling things. I could spend 2 days to schedule all 20 interviews. Because that's them in our system. Right? So like don't fucking go into someone else's system. If you don't think about systems, then you probably lose. I don't know, in general. Yeah. Why wouldn't I go on the marathon? But Rolf, it would be stupid for me to go on that marathon without having our own internal marketing systems and cadences that are working. So right now, my next order of business is to systemize and automate the Twitter Ambassador Program. So by the way, I don't need to bottleneck the Twitter Ambassador Program, right? Because before we go on YouTube interviews, it makes sense that the YouTubers we interview, they can also get slotted into our Ambassador Program. Right? So have everything set up ahead of time so that by the time it's done, every component touches. You're watching this get built component by component. This is what a user base needs. They need component by component. They always want updates. And then when you get the updates, you're like, oh, but it's only a component. Then why the fuck did you want to update? Yeah. You guys get what I'm saying? I'm not even mad at you. But like, understand that's how it works. Like, in order to market something, you actually need the A to Z. What other people are doing on Twitter, like you might see like, oh shit, that's working. But they're probably using bots to retweet themselves because they have to keep finding a way to hack. They're also looking for, meme coin number 75 that somebody plays. Their level of interest in it is like the lowest. They don't give a fuck about the meme anymore. They only care to gamble. Does that make sense? Like their level of drool is not there. Do you understand? Right? So point being, again, we're not trying to mimic the stuff that's going to saturate out on Twitter. We're trying to effectively be on Twitter because our user base is there, but then differentiate on Twitter. If you're not seeing the Discord flood open, it's because, again, we had 150 people post. Sorry, we had 150 posts of the URL. If the URL is posted like it's an ad, yeah. Post the URL like an ad. And, it won't work. Because when people look at that URL, When people look at that URL and they see your caption and your caption sounds like an ad, they immediately think, oh, that's an ad 13 minutes. I don't want to watch a 13-minute ad. Does that make sense? But when you pose it like a question, people look at it for a second and they think about it. I want you to really think about the granularity. They look at it and they think about it. And because they have that question too, they think maybe the information I want is on that site. That's what they think. That like they see that, they read the card, and in their mind, because the reason we say 7-minute read and 13-minute thing is to help sell the click, because it's a risk reversal on what's the other side. People don't click links for things that people don't like mysterious links. Does that make sense? So we reduce the mystery by saying 7-minute read, 13-minute video. So they think about that, and they think about their amount of pain and their motivation and the value that's promised, and they think, okay, is that worth 13 minutes? And if they say yes, they click. But if you're fucking writing, if you look like another motherfucker on Twitter that is not differentiated, don't expect to be effective. I built this so you guys could do less work and be effective. So when do we sell? The only thing to write, and then the link, and then move on. Reply to actual influencers. By the way, we now have the site indexed on like 15,000 things. So the site is now indexed thousands of places, which will help it. And I want to believe that actually people got so zealous with those links on Friday and Saturday that it might have suppressed them. Do you guys know what I mean? Like people were posting those links and it's like you're posting them way too much. Stop doing that. If we could get people to post 3 times a day with that caption, it would begin working exceptionally. Does that make sense? But if you post it to the point where where it starts being viewed as spam by Twitter, you have effectively ruined it. Does that make sense? Only say, so when do we sell? No need to do any declarative. Do not sound bold and brazen. Ask the question, make it awkward. Like literally make it an awkward part of Twitter. That literally ask the question that everybody's asking internally and then promises something there, and then basically you show the cost as well. Does that make sense? By posting 7-minute read and 13-minute video, we are being upfront with the cost, which is a risk reversal because you're giving the time cost away of the information. If we were to remove those things from the card, people would click it even less. Just to be honest. Anyways, I'm gonna write an announcement about it. By the way, we didn't talk anything about the market today. But the point being here is that the marketing made a shift. Like, stop trying to copy what you saw 6 months ago. Like, legitimately, it's only going to be paying out less. The reason I built this is like, okay, this is built in marketing theoretics, which is designed around humans, okay? We're selling something for humans. We don't need to think about, oh, we're trying to copy what we see on crypto Twitter. That is called cargo cultism. Do you guys know that word? I should just write this with a big red circle and slash it out. Do not engage in cargo cult marketing. Yes, Alessio, yes. Yes, and by the way, we already have an idea, Alessio. We have an idea that we think maybe 10% of people who fucking click it join the Discord. Yeah, possibly 10%. But we don't know this yet because we literally only have 3 days of data that were given with bad instructions. So I'm going to write a new announcement with new instructions, and then we'll start getting data. But again, I realized, do you guys remember all those weird pains we had in the early part of beta? And it's because everybody, for some reason, would just not follow instructions. Yeah, it's the same concept. Stop. You do not, do less. You can do fucking less. I built all this in advance, so it would be easy to promote PYRESWAP. All you're going to say is, so when do we sell? You literally don't identify yourself as shilling PYRESWAP. You don't do that at all. Like, legitimately. No, because you're saying you don't hold the coin. So the people that follow that, they would be more interested in that because you're kind of piggybacking on it. But yeah. Yeah, you should ask as if you hold it. Yeah. So when do we sell? Because that right there, Rolf, you're sounding like 5. Oh, whatever the fuck he's shilling. Yeah. Yeah, or even legitimately, If there's no coin mentioned, still, so when do we sell? Yeah, I would still probably ask, so when do we sell? Because like that's something that everybody based on their bag wants to know. And you can assume that they already hold all the coins. But we're assuming that they hold the token, but they're not in love with it. Because at a certain point, people can't last through meme coin season by being in love with their bag. Because meme coins die so frequently. So people are likely not in love with their bag. In which case, knowing when to sell is something that you're all thinking about. So when do we sell? So when do we sell? 5 words. Yes, Rolf, but like again, Twitter is so broad and vast that it would be very unlikely that this is something that people would keep seeing without clicking. Really, you're asking the question, like, you should not expect that that this isn't even going to be seen by the same people twice. Yeah. Like, don't, rule 1 of advertising, by the way. Yeah. Not rule 1, but again, never assume people have seen your message. Now, secondly, because Rolf, when you say, so when do we sell, you do not sound like an ad at all. You sound like somebody who already bought what this guy was previously selling. So we see Crypto Amsterdam. So if Crypto Amsterdam was previously shilling something and you're in his replies, people who are also following him, they're interested in you now because what you're posting does not look like an ad. The link you're posting does not look like an ad, and they can view your success and they can view your pain. Does that make sense? As almost like a customer review. They're gonna look at you like social proof. So they're very interested. They're interested to see if the OP replies to you. Like, is the OP gonna reply? 2, the OP might click on it because you're putting the OP on the spot. You're asking the question everybody wants to know, right? But most people are like too scared to ask on Twitter. This is meant to be a question you ask that makes the Twitter thread almost awkward with just how blatant and direct. So when do we sell? Like, it's like you're not being, it's like you kind of ruin the vibe of the thread, but people will notice it. Yeah, it'll ruin the vibe of the thread and people will notice it. Legitimately, I'm talking to Naldo today. Yeah, and then we're systemizing it, and then I think there's like 4 or 5 ambassadors that are waiting. So every ambassador that's actually on board, because by the way, Naldo is the only one we've like officialized yet. There's like 4 or 5 guys that are waiting, but ideally I'm trying to finish that system so they can all be on board before the end of the week. And then after that system is done, I don't need to even be involved in the Twitter ambassador program anymore. It'll just keep growing automatically, and I can focus on things like YouTube marathons or tutorial videos or rebuilding the Discord, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So, but Rolf, we still need to make sure that they understand the project so they can answer questions. But it is what it is. All of these things are going to get built in like a larger system that 5 guys are going to kind of oversee, and those 5 guys are not me, but I will be, I guess, meeting with them once a week to just see how things are going. But yeah, legitimately, so when do we sell? It does not sound like an ad. Nothing about that post looks like an ad. If you saw my screenshots, I'm replying to Murad. So when do we sell? And it's just it's a difference in energy, right? But the thing is, it's bright white on Twitter, which is mostly dark now that it's called X, right? And you're entering the conversation. You're entering the conversation already in their mind. We're already at our hour mark, actually. We talked nothing almost about markets today, but it's okay. I think marketing is what everybody wanted to know. I'm gonna write this announcement again shortly. We have new we have new TikTok content in a new format getting posted today, and more on that later. Yeah. Anyways, I'll have another announcement coming up shortly. Have a great day, everybody. Yeah, you can roll us out, Mr. Producer. Thank you, everybody. Announcement coming soon. More later. Of course, we have a show tomorrow. And goodbye.